Hey there, newsletter subscribers. Jeremy Hugas here with Platte River Law Firm. We have a little video for a section we're calling the Legalese Tease. And as you guessed, that's where we take words that you've probably heard of and unpack them a little bit for you. Today I wanted to talk to you about the difference between a search warrant and an arrest warrant. A lot of times this word just gets thrown around, oh, they had a warrant, oh, they didn't have a warrant. And in any event, they are a little bit different. So a couple scenarios that this may matter to you and the protections that you have under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and even under the Wyoming Constitution. The first is, if you get pulled over, an officer says, hey, can I look in your car? You don't have to let an officer look in your car if the officer doesn't have a warrant. The officer may say to you, oh, well, come on, like, what are you trying to hide? If you're not trying to hide anything, wouldn't you just let me look in your car? Maybe open your trunk, see if you got something in there that you shouldn't have, like a body or something like that. But you don't have to let the officer do that. If an officer wants to pat you down, which is basically a stop and frisk, an officer can do that to make sure you don't have any weapons. Also, if you're pulled over and police see drugs or a gun or a body hanging out in your back seat, or maybe a bunch of poisonous snakes and they're looking for snakes because somebody stole some from a pet store, then that would be enough to let them get into your car and do a little scope out your vehicle. But otherwise, you've got to have a search warrant to do that unless they have probable cause. In your house, it's a little bit different. If they have an arrest warrant but not a search warrant, but they have probable cause to believe you're in your house, they can come into your house with only an arrest warrant, even without a search warrant, to search for you. They can't go searching through a bunch of stuff. They can't go through your sock drawer, your underwear drawer, your closet, looking for more snakes and more dead bodies. So if there's an arrest warrant, they think you're in there, they have probable cause to believe you're in your home, they can come in there and look in places where you might be. So if you're really tiny and you could fit in a sock drawer, then they could look there too. But if you're not, you're a normal sized person, can't do it. It's got to look around the room in places where you'd be hiding out. If a person is in the home of another person or a third person, let's say police have an arrest warrant for person number one, and they want to come into your house and look for person number one, they have to have a search warrant for your house, not just the arrest warrant for the person that they're looking for. They can't just roll up into your home with an arrest warrant for someone else. They got to have a search warrant for your house, unless there's what's called an exigent circumstance. And again, that's more legalese. It really just means a specific situation where the courts have said, you know, it's justified to make an exception to your constitutional rights. So what are examples of that? Well, one is if they're in hot pursuit of a criminal. So they're chasing this guy down the street. They saw him run out of the pet store. He's got all the snakes in there. They know he does. He's dropping snakes. And they chase him into your house. They can keep running right into your house to get him. For two reasons. One, because they're in hot pursuit of a criminal. Another reason is because destruction of evidence. He could run in the house, flush all the snakes down your toilet, and there'd be no more evidence. So people who have drugs or evidence that may disappear, that creates an exigent circumstance where police can come into your house without a search warrant, or if they're chasing a felon in hot pursuit, or someone who's committed a serious crime. Another one where they can come in is to render or to give emergency aid to somebody. So if someone's in serious need of assistance and is going to die or severely injured, they can come in without a search warrant. Otherwise, they got to have a search warrant, and they got to have also an arrest warrant for the person that they're trying to arrest. Unless it's in that person's home, then they just need an arrest warrant. And also, like I said, if it's in a vehicle or if you're out on the street, they got to have a search warrant to look in your trunk, look in your vehicle, unless they see something through the window that gives them probable cause. Otherwise, the best they can do is pat you down. So knowledge is power. Don't be intimidated by police saying like, well, why won't you let me into your house? Or why won't you let me into your car? What are you trying to hide? You trying to hide snakes? Don't buy it. Knowledge is power. Justice never sleeps. We'll see you next time.